Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. I'm here with Brandon. Brandon is, we just did a rapid fire critique that was like 34 minutes, and he had a really, really good question at the end that I thought would help a lot of people out. So what was your question?
Yeah, I'm a student. I came to school for engineering, and it isn't really for me. And I was wondering how viable, or do you think it's easy enough? Well, not easy is the best word, but how is it to have a career in photography? Would you recommend doing it? How best would you go about doing that?
Well, you also said you're switching majors, right?
Yeah, I'm changing to visual communication design, which ties into photography fairly well.
What is visual? Like, is that video processing, video editing?
It's quite a bit of things. It's kind of like graphic design. You do web-based things and stuff like that. So
here's what I think, and I'll be straight up honest with everybody. Photography is not the easiest career to get into, and I know I had a Sports Illustrated photographer back in the day basically tell me the same thing, and I thought he was telling me not to pursue it. But no, he wasn't doing that. He was just telling me that it's a very cutthroat business. It's very tough. Now, photography's tough, but you can make it. There's a lot of people doing a lot of photo shoots and finding their way. And a lot of it is just getting out there and putting yourself into situations where you can pick up jobs, and you can do those odd jobs. You know, sometimes you're going to have to do jobs that you don't want to do, but doing the jobs that you don't want to do affords you the ability to do the jobs that you want to do. I think it's a smart move that you're doing, moving into the whole communication, visual communications and design. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
That's great. I think, as you know, anybody looking to get into photography and that's in college, I would take as many web courses, I would take as many graphic design courses, I would take as many visual type, video and audio stuff, marketing, take business classes. I mean, in this day and age, they should probably have an internet marketing degree. I mean, if you can do all of this, if you can do photography, you can do video, you can do editing, you capture audio, you know how to manage your websites, you know? You know how to handle this stuff. You know how to brand and market yourself. You understand the business aspect. You're going to be able to get a jump start on a lot of people out there who don't, because photography isn't just about who can take the best picture and expose properly. We all know that there's a lot of photographers out there who just take pictures, but for some reason get lots and lots of jobs because, one, they may be likable. You know, being likable is something, but doing great work, being likable, putting yourself in a situation where people are going to find you and you're putting yourself out there, that is the greatest thing. So if you can pick up business classes, if you can pick up a lot of graphic design and computer stuff, I think business and marketing for photographers is one of the most important things, because if you don't know the business end of it, you don't know how to market and brand yourself, you're going to have a harder time finding your way as a photographer. There's different types of photography jobs you can get. You can work for a newspaper, but we know that newspapers are cutting back. They're firing a lot of people who, they're firing a lot of the veterans because they make too much money, and they're hiring students and interns, and then they get rid of the interns, and then they hire new interns because they don't have to pay them. That seems to be the way that they do it, and they tie it together as saying it's all about the experience. You know what I mean? Yeah. Also, another thing for a photographer to think about is education, an education degree. If you can pick up a minor in education, get a teaching certificate, well, then you can teach this stuff. You can go and teach it. Now, teaching, sometimes they say that those who can't teach. It's not always true. Maybe you enjoy teaching. You could start a website where you do what I do, You tell people about your experiences. You talk about different gear. You make it personal. You tell different stories. I mean, that's a way of getting yourself out there. One of the reasons for starting the website, on top of the many other reasons for starting this website, is to be seen. It's another form of getting jobs. I'm putting myself out there, as an authority in the field. People listen or like what I say. There's also people that don't like what I say, but that's okay. Is photography a viable job? Yeah, it absolutely is. And Adam Lerner will tell you that. I've been talking to Adam for almost 2 years now. And, like last year, this time, there weren't a lot of gigs coming by. He's like, what should I do? Where should I go? And I hope he doesn't mind me saying this stuff. But you know what? He sticks with it. And he picked up these jobs. He's got a friend that has a really cool position. And I'm not going to go into detail about what it is. But he knew somebody. And there's nothing wrong with knowing somebody. And that somebody finally called him. And it's led to so many different jobs. And that's another thing. It's just branch out, the reason I said get in with the dean at the school for you is they make a lot of decisions. They hold the money. They have the purse strings. Go over to them and be like, listen, do you need new brochures shot for the school? Are you guys printing a new brochure? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? They always have new material coming out. Are you doing new ads? Why not, hire me at less of a, you could hire the professional photographer, and this is tough. This is where the cutthroat thing comes in. You're basically a student. You go, listen, I would like to do this job. Sure, I would like to get paid to do it because that's what I do. I don't know if they can do that. They can pay you to do jobs, right?
I believe so.
I don't see why they couldn't, but I would totally go to the dean, and I think the best thing to do is give him a photo story. Tell him that you want to do a story on his day-to-day operations. You're going to do a portrait. You're going to do the environmental portraits of him working. You're going to just follow him around for him or her. I don't know if it's a he or she. You're going to follow them around for the day, and you're going to capture what's going on. And now you're just interacting with them. They're asking you questions. Hey, how do you like school here? Is there some? And a good dean is probably going to be like, what don't you like about school? What do you think we could do better here? And then you may become an advisor for them. So maybe when you get out of college, if you stay in the area or something, they may have a job for you. They may have a full-time job as, hey, you know what? We love what you did. Why don't you come back and teach photography or teach for the newspaper or be the newspaper photographer or the advisor or be an advisor from a distance? You know what I mean? And that could lead to getting paid to be a consultant. So is it viable? Yeah. Is it easy? No. Is it hard? Absolutely. Will a lot of people fail coming out of photo school? Yeah. A lot of people that I graduated with went to other jobs. But it's who wants it more. It's, are you hungry? Are you going to do what it takes to get those jobs? And that's, I think you can do it. I mean, you've become the editor of your paper in your second semester, as a freshman.
Yeah.
That's an awesome story right there. For you, I would start a second blog. I would start a blog.
Okay.
If you're allowed, get permission to use the images, tell your story of being the photo editor. Even if you put it on, if you get a separate page on, this is a dilemma here. This is where it comes into seeing what works best for you. If you can get a page on the website, the school's paper, that bounces off onto your own personal site, but it's dedicated to you telling your story of being the photo editor. That would be a good way for you to start generating traffic to your site. Then, I love this one. The school has a huge alumni association, right?
Yeah.
I would contact a lot of the past alumni and get a hold of that list and send out an email and ask how many of them are local or how many of them would like to be featured in the paper. Do you feature alumni, what they're doing now?
I think we do from time to time. I'm not too certain, but
this is a good way for you personally to get in touch with very successful people that are alumni. And it's all about building that network, building up your contacts list. So I would literally get access to that alumni list and find the successful people that are close to school, that are still in the area, pick up the phone and say, hey, I would like to do a feature on you. We'd bring out a writer. We want to know what you're doing and how going to this, Purdue, right?
Yeah.
How going to Purdue set you on the right path to be successful in your business, in your career. I mean, geez, if you did one of these a month and then you're working, literally you're going to somebody who owns a successful business.
Yeah.
Right? Geez, man. Right from there, it's like, wow, we love the photos. Can I use those for my website? Absolutely. You can use those for your website. Keep me in mind for when you have a party. Keep me in mind when you're doing this type of family portrait. Keep me in mind when you need a photographer. This is how you're utilizing your position in school to further your future, but you're also doing your job.
Okay.
I love that. I love marketing and branding and consulting.
Yeah.
I love coming up with these ideas, and one idea leads to another, and it's just executing it. Focus on one thing, make it happen, and continue to and repeat, and make tweaks where you need to make tweaks. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's a good way for you to further yourself as a photographer. Is don't just do sports, but get into the portraits. Use the off-camera flash stuff. I mean, that's what I'm learning. That's what Adam Lerner does a lot of videos on. I mean, I can do off-camera flash. What I'm thinking to do for myself is tell the photo story. Do all the candid photos first. because then the guy or the girl is going to be comfortable with you. And at the end of the day, save yourself 20, 30, 40 minutes to say, you know what, let's get some setup portraits of you in your space. We have all these awesome storytelling photos. Now let's set up and do some of these off-camera flash shots with that would just make some really cool extra photos.
Yeah, absolutely.
So not only did you get great candid shots, but now you've branched out and you're getting great portraits. It's going to make you look better. It's going to make the paper look good. I would set up that blog and talk about your personal experience as the photo editor of the paper and see, people are going to want to follow your story. It's the behind the scenes look. You're giving them the access to that. And that's where this contour camera is going to come in handy. Because you're going to give people a first-hand look of what you're capturing and then do voiceovers, talk about it. What was it like working for this? What was it like being there for this crucial moment in time? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And just interview people. It's gonna set you apart.
Sounds great.
All right. So yeah, the answer is photography is a tough career to get into. Can you be successful? Absolutely. You just have to beat the crap out of it, and I think you've started to beat the crap out of it already.
All right.
All right, Brent?
Thank you.
All right. All right, that's that. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.